Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that's both haunting and incredibly powerful. It's a story that has been whispered about, a piece of history that was almost locked away forever. It all starts with a simple, heartbreaking plea. Please be gentle. These 3 words were found on the helmet of an American soldier in Vietnam. But what makes this story so unforgettable is the man who wore that helmet. He was a young black soldier, caught in a war that was as confusing and divided as the nation he came from. So, who was this soldier? His name was Larry Wayne Chaffin. He was just 19 years old when he was deployed to Vietnam in 1965. He was part of the 173rd Airborne Brigade, stationed in a defensive position at Phuoc Vinh airstrip. A famous photograph, taken by the legendary war photographer Horst Foss, captured Larry in a moment of quiet contemplation, his helmet clearly displaying the words, "Please be gentle." But this wasn't a plea to the enemy. It wasn't about the physical dangers of combat. It was a message to the world, a reflection of the inner turmoil of a young man fighting a war abroad while another battle for civil rights was raging back home. Think about it for a second. In the 1960s, America was a pressure cooker. The civil rights movement was in full swing. African Americans were fighting for basic human rights, for equality, for the right to be treated as human beings. And at the same time, many young black men, like Larry, were being drafted and sent thousands of miles away to fight for the freedom of another country, a freedom they themselves didn't fully enjoy back home. This was the great paradox, the deep irony that many black soldiers faced. They were patriots, serving their country, but their country wasn't always serving them. Larry Smith's "Please be gentle" can be seen as a quiet protest. It was a deeply personal and vulnerable statement. It wasn't a cry of cowardice. It was a profound expression of a gentle soul caught in a brutal environment. He wasn't just a soldier. He was a husband and a son-to-be, father. He had a life, dreams, and a family waiting for him. His plea was a reflection of his own nature and a hope for a gentler world, a world that seemed so far away from the jungles of Vietnam and the racial tensions of America. It speaks volumes about the psychological weight carried by these soldiers. They weren't just fighting an external enemy. They were grappling with internal conflicts, with questions of identity, loyalty, and justice. The photograph became iconic. It was part of a collection that won Horst Foss a Pulitzer Prize. The image of this young, anonymous black soldier with his poignant message resonated with people around the world. It captured the human cost of war, the vulnerability beneath the uniform. For years, the soldier in the photo was simply known as the anonymous soldier. His identity was a mystery, his story untold. The image became a symbol, but the man behind it was lost to history. So what happened to Larry Wayne Chaffin? This is where the story takes a tragic turn. Just a few weeks after that photograph was taken, Larry was killed in action. He was on patrol when his unit was ambushed. He was only 19 years old. He never got to meet his daughter, who was born while he was in Vietnam. He never got to see the changes that the civil rights movement would bring. His story, like the stories of so many others, seemed to be locked away forever. A casualty of war, a name on a memorial wall. For decades, his family had no idea that this famous photograph of their son, their husband, their father, even existed. They grieved for him in private, remembering the gentle young man they knew and loved. The world saw a symbol, but they had lost a person. His story was incomplete, a single, powerful image, disconnected from the life it represented. The plea on his helmet became a prophecy, a wish that went unfulfilled in the chaos of war. The story could have ended there, a sad but common tale from a brutal conflict, but it didn't. Decades later, a historian named Mark Maccabi was researching the Vietnam War and became fascinated by the photograph. He was determined to uncover the identity of the anonymous soldier. It was a long and difficult search. He sifted through military records, archives, and photographs, chasing down leads. It was like looking for a needle in a haystack, but Maccabi was relentless. He felt a deep connection to the young man in the photo and believed his story deserved to be told. Finally, after years of searching, he had a breakthrough. He was able to identify the soldier as Larry Wayne Chaffin from St. Louis. It was a monumental discovery. He managed to track down Larry's widow, Fran, and his daughter, Lisa. Imagine getting that call after almost 40 years. Imagine discovering that a private moment of your loved one's life had become a world-famous symbol of the war that took him from you. For Larry's family, it was an emotional tidal wave. They were finally able to see him not just as a name on a memorial, but as the young man in that photograph, his personality shining through. His daughter, Lisa, who never met her father, was finally able to connect with him in a new way. She saw the gentle spirit that her mother had always described. The words on the helmet, "Please be gentle," were a perfect description of the man they knew. It wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a testament to his character. The discovery unlocked a story that had been hidden for so long. It gave a name, a face, and a history to the anonymous soldier. It allowed his family to reclaim a piece of him that had been lost. The photograph was no longer just a symbol of the war's tragedy. It became a portrait of Larry Wayne Chaffin, a tribute to his life and his quiet plea for humanity in an inhuman situation. It connected his personal story to the larger narrative of the Vietnam War and the Civil Rights Movement. Today, Larry's story is a powerful reminder of the individual lives behind the statistics of war. Every soldier has a story, a family, hopes, and fears. His message, "Please be gentle," transcends the Vietnam War. It's a universal plea for compassion, for understanding, for a world where gentle souls do want to have to be caught in the crossfire of hatred and violence. It's a message that is just as relevant today as it was in 1965. This story teaches us the importance of remembering. It is about the power of a single image to tell a story, and the dedication of those who refuse to let history be forgotten. Larry Wayne Chaffin was more than a soldier. He was a young man with a gentle heart whose message continues to echo through time. His story was unlocked, not by a key, but by curiosity, respect, and the enduring power of a family's love. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey into the past. It's stories like this that help us understand the human side of history. If you found this story as moving as I did, please give this video a like and subscribe for more content that uncovers the hidden stories that shape our world. We'll see you in the next one.